News time, 9 minutes after the 7 o'clock hour on this Thursday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast. Brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. Even though the summer camp season is drawing to a close, the Clinton YMCA says it's not too late to participate. Rennie Kluver, executive director of the Clinton Y, explains while the summer is almost over, it's never too late to get your child signed up for Camp Osage. He says the best part is you only pay for days of camp that you're present.
It's not. And the nice thing about camp, too, is it's pay when you go. It's not that you have to pay all 5 days of camp. If you go all 5 days, great. If you only need to use it for 1, 2, 3, or 4, you can just sign up and you send them when you need to. And we just mark it at the beginning of the next week. So every Monday, then we charge for the previous week based on the child's attendance. No, and I really do. Melinda Akers has taken it over this year, and Savannah Clifton. They're tag teaming the camp as the director and coordinator. And I think they did an amazing job with filling it with activities, and which has helped with the whole demeanor of camp, the whole feeling of camp, the issues that can happen in camp when you got all different kinds of kids, and very minimal this year. And I think it's because they're always on the go. So it's a great addition to have Melinda schedule all those things. And I think today, right before I came here, they were getting ready to go to Farmer City to the pool over there.
Camp Osage takes place in Monticello and Clinton. Kluver says the partnership between the two has been very successful.
It's been a great year for camp, both locations here in Clinton and the one we have in Monticello. And I think that helps with it's a smooth going through all the 10, 11 weeks of summer vacation and camp doing a bunch of things, a bunch of activities. The kids are disciplined well, they're behaving well. And so it's just been a great summer, but every summer it seems to go by quick. And I think the next Monday, the 28th, both camps are going to meet together and do something together as one big camp. So that'll be a big group of kids. They always have something going on, which has been, I think, a benefit for everyone, the camp staff, the camp kids, parents. Kids come home from camp and they're excited about going back. I hear that over and over from parents. So I think we see a trend, and you just got to keep them busy.
Melinda Akers and Savannah Clifton, as Kluver mentioned, have taken over coordinating Camp Osage, and Kluver feels they've done a great job with their new responsibilities.
Last year, knowing because Luca Case had done it for 3 or 4 years, and Melinda helped with camp last year to kind of get her feet wet and have Luca kind of show her, because we knew that transition was going to happen. And so, so Melinda taking over the reins and having Savannah. Savannah has worked camp for several years just as a camp counselor. And she did a lot with Luca the last couple of years too, having more responsibility as more of a coordinator role. And so having those two together has been really beneficial. And Caitlin Myers and Josie Miller over in Monticello are the same style. They've always got things going on, even if it's at their one location in Monticello at the old Lincoln School. They have, when I go over there, it's really neat to see that they've got the kids in different stations. It could be, hey, you're outside today working in the garden that they have. And then another group is in here doing Gaga ball, and they just rotate them. There may be a movie time too. And so it's working. So we're going to keep at it.
Kluver reminds parents to start thinking about Y-Zone, the organization's before and after school care program. Learn more about all the opportunities for kids at the Clinton Y by visiting ClintonYMCA.org. You can also follow them on Facebook. Stop in at 417 South Alexander Street in Clinton, or call 217-935-8307. The C.H. Moore Homestead has on display a project that was over a year in the making, but it will be taken down next week. Joey Long, director of the C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum, explains when it comes to the Picture Perfect project, they had over twice the amount of photos that she was originally intending. During the month of July, all 45 photos that were restored were displayed throughout the museum.
When I started this project, the original goal that I had in mind was about 20 images, thinking that that's what would, fill that gallery wall that we had in the lower level. But we ended up with 45, which is wonderful. That's going to allow us to rotate what's on the gallery wall each year, and that number will fluctuate depending on the text panels that went with it. So I wanted an opportunity to be able to show the entire accomplishment and collection all at one time. So through the month of July, I have them on display throughout the house, on the gallery wall, and then one of the exhibit rooms in the lower level. So people can come out and they can take a look and get to see all 45 all at once. A lot of these pictures have not ever been publicly displayed before. They were tucked away in albums or in too bad of a condition to, put on display. Each one of them has a text panel. There's some really interesting stories that go with.
Long says they will rotate the photos that are on the in the gallery periodically, and the extras will be protected in storage. She hopes everyone takes the opportunity to see the whole collection before it's taken down July 31st.
So we'll still have all of the images on the gallery wall. Then these other images will be tucked away so we can rotate out. Or, if there's an exhibit in the future where, this image would certainly fit into this, or maybe one of those images would inspire a new exhibit. But they'll definitely be used. They'll definitely be seen. They'll rotate out. But I just wanted to give everyone the opportunity, whether, they sponsored one of these or they're just curious about it or just like looking at old photos, an opportunity to see all of them, because there's so much value in that collective whole. When you walk away from that exhibit, you really feel like you have learned a lot about the town and literally just, stepped back in time, especially these shots that we have, these interior shots of like old hardware stores and things. When you are looking at all these interior shots, you truly feel like you stepped back into another time.
One of the major benefits of enlarging and restoring the historical photos is the details you can find. Long points to a very small photo they received, which once was enlarged, revealed the man pictured was missing a leg, an injury that could have been sustained during the Civil War.
Well, there is one particular image that was very small in its original state. I took it to Mark Woods. He enlarged it, brought it back to me. And then when I looked at it enlarged, I realized that man's missing a leg. And I snapped a shot and sent to Mark. Did you notice this? No, I didn't. And it's an interesting thing that was missed, because the original was so small and maybe not in clear focus. But it's a picture of Beatty's hardware store on the square in Clinton, and the people are unidentified, unfortunately. I think possibly one is Mr. Beatty, the owner at the time, and then a couple of his clerks or employees with him. And the one man is standing there, and he just has imagine a crutch, but has somehow been cobbled together so it comes at the knee, and that he possibly was a Civil War veteran. Mr. Beatty was a Civil War veteran. There were a lot of war injuries. There are also a lot of farm injuries around here, as well as railroad accidents. So I can't say what happened to this gentleman, but boy, I sure would like to know his story.
If you'd like to see all the restored photos on display throughout the mansion, again, the homestead is at 219 East Woodlawn Street in Clinton, and learn more about the Picture Perfect project at chmorehomestead.org or by finding the homestead on Facebook. News time is 17 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Thursday. Seniors who rely on piecemeal for meals during the week will want to make note of schedule adjustments this week because of the heat. On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Shelley Tolley with OSF Piecemeal told Regional Radio they will not be delivering meals due to the extreme heat Thursday. She notes it's unsafe to have drivers out in the sun all day and also unsafe for the food.
Yeah, so we have entered those dog days of summer, and the heat indexes for the next couple of days are going to be quite bad. So our manager keeps a close eye on the heat indexes in the summer. Not so much for the seniors. It is important to keep an eye on them, but our drivers, tomorrow the heat index is supposed to be 115. It's just too dangerous to have our drivers out there in that kind of weather. And also the drivers that don't have the hot shots, the heated and cooled vehicles, they just have like insulated bags with heating pads in it. and then coolers with ice packs. It's just not safe for the food to be out in that kind of weather. So what we did was our manager told us on Monday that we wouldn't be delivering meals on Thursday, and she prepared a note for the drivers to take out to the clients yesterday. So all of the clients in all 7 counties were notified that we would not be delivering tomorrow. And then we are also going to have our drivers call tomorrow just to do a wellness check. So our program, like I've said before, it's not just a meal program, it's also a wellness check program. Heat is very dangerous for seniors. And so we just want to make sure that they are okay, that they're staying cool, that they have enough food to eat. They will be checking on them tomorrow.
A study from Harvard Medical details the changes our bodies go through as we get older and the tolerance for heat. Tolly points out many seniors cannot tell when they are becoming overheated.
So I looked up, there's a study on the Harvard Medical School. It's called Extreme Heat Endangers Older Adults. And it was talking about how as you get older, your body changes and you can't handle the heat as well as when you were younger. So I don't know if you've met a lot of seniors, they're cold all the time. So they think they're cold, but their body is really struggling to keep up with the heat. We also don't sweat as well as we get older. And so that's our body's natural cooling mechanism. So if you're not sweating, then you're not going to stay as cool. Also, their physiological responses, like I just said, they think they're cold, but their body's really like, I'm overheating, I'm thirsty. And then the medications that they take can like stifle their thirst or cause them to urinate more with the Lasix and then dehydrate them. And that's very dangerous. So you got to stay hydrated during all this. And then also chronic medical conditions like heart problems, lung, kidney disease, and diabetes can impair how they react to heat. So they really, really need to be staying in cool areas. If they don't have air conditioning, then go to a shopping mall. You can go in there and sit. They have like those little food courts. Go in there and sit for a little while. You can go to the senior center. We have the senior center here in town. Go down there. There's a TV, comfortable furniture. You can sit and watch TV. There's got a pool table. You could also just go to the library. So there's all kinds of places you could go to get cool.
Tolly explains they know which of their clients have a greater dependency on piecemeal that are delivered to them. Piecemeal keeps track of frozen meals, keeps extra frozen meals that is on hand for clients who struggle with food insecurity.
Our drivers know who are like super food insecure. And so what we do is if we have extra, when we dish up the food, if we have extra, we just go ahead and dish up the extra, seal it and stick it in our freezers. And then that way the drivers know if they have food insecure people, they can just grab a couple extra frozen meals for them. And so the drivers have been instructed to do that. Most of our clients are like, I'm okay, I've got enough food. And then we do, not so much in the summertime, but in the wintertime, we do send out emergency meal kits. So if we were closed in the winter, because we close more in the winter than we do in the summer. And then that way they have shelf stable food if we can't come. And a lot of them keep a hold of that all through the year. So the congregate sites, they're not so much food insecure as our home delivered meal people are because they can get out. So I do know that in Ludlow, they're going to stay open tomorrow just so that they are a cooling center. So they're going to come in and play cards, but we're not going to serve food tomorrow.
Seniors are especially susceptible to heat exhaustion and heat stroke, so it's important to stay on top of hydration. Tolly urges anyone with elderly family to check on them as piecemeals will be doing with their clients.
If you're not staying hydrated, if you're staying out in the sun too long, you can get, and I didn't write this down, but you can get symptoms of heat exhaustion, and then that can lead into heat stroke. And they're very dangerous, especially for older people. So you need to keep an eye on your seniors. So we're going to call our seniors on Thursday. If you have a senior in your life, you need to please check on them to make sure that they are staying cool, they're staying hydrated, and that they do have enough to eat, because food, of course, is always going to be very beneficial to your system.
If you are not sure where you can go in your community to keep cool, visit keepcool.illinois.gov for a list of all the cooling centers near you. And to learn more about Piecemeal and its services, you can visit osfhealthcare.org. News time, 23 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Central A&M Schools has added new staff and administration for the upcoming school year. Sasha Young is the Central A&M school superintendent and indicates they have added to its administration team. She explains some are either new to the position or accepting additional responsibilities.
So this year we've shifted a little bit. We have our high school principal is Mr. Larry Daly, comes with lots of experience from St. Teresa High School, actually. So we're excited about him. Our middle school principal is Mrs. Black, and she's been with us a few years, but this year she's taking on Bond Primary as well. So Bond Primary and the middle school are in the same building here in Assumption, and she's going to take over being the building principal for Bond Primary, which is pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade. So that's a new role for her, but she's super excited. She has a couple of young children at home, so she's very used to the primary age group, right? She has experience, not necessarily in the administrator role, but as a parent. We have a new Gregory Intermediate principal who is actually a local here, knows the community, knows the students, very active in our community, but first time working for us, and he will be at Gregory. And then we have Carol Dance, who is at Kimmer Village as our Kimmer Village principal, who's been here a few years too. So about half of our administrative team is new this year, which is exciting, right? It's opportunity, it's room for some growth and some changes and some differences, but ultimately they're here to keep us being awesome, as well as, add to what we do and what we do well. So we're excited about the opportunity.
New staff has also come aboard. Young says following a special board meeting, 2 roles were filled with a need for a high school guidance counselor.
We hired high school PE and health today, and we hired a Gregory special ed teacher today. Both are not necessarily easy teaching spots to fill. So it was definitely a big win. We do still have high school guidance counselor position open, but today we approved to use a couple of former high school guidance counselors that have worked here in Central A&M or nearby to come back and help support us and support our kids to get the school year started, with the intent to continue searching, for our next full-time guidance counselor.
Gotcha. Okay. So really a plan's already in place until a new plan has to come into place.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
And sometimes that's the point of summer, right? Like sometimes that's what we do as administrators is we figure out one plan to get us to point B, and then an additional plan to get us to C, and get creative, right? Both of them have experience doing this job and are willing to give us some time, throughout at least the first semester, if it needs to go that long, just to help our students, support our kids. So
the district has also made improvements to its Moweaqua and Assumption campuses ahead of the school registration that will open at the start of the new month. Additionally, Okaw Valley is joining the district for the upcoming football season through a new co-op that will also include the marching band and cheer teams. Young was formerly the principal of Clinton Elementary School. News time, 27 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. We'll wrap things up coming up on the morning show.
Is the summer heat getting to you? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City, inviting you to cool down in a new Chevy. We have cool new crossovers like the Chevy Equinox, or hot new trucks like the Chevy Silverado 1500, which has up to $7,500 in extra savings over our regular discounts. See all our inventory and prices online. And don't forget, we need and would love to trade yours in. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News Times.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Thursday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 40-year-old Crystal Annette Polk of Bloomington passed away July 19th at her family home in Bloomington. A visitation for 40-year-old Crystal Annette Polk will be from 10 to noon Saturday, July 26th at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with a private burial at Troutman-Pullen Cemetery in DeWitt. Memorials can be directed to Sweet Home Ministries of Bloomington or to an animal shelter of the donor's choice. 88-year-old Joyce Eileen Dunlap of DeWitt passed away July 22nd at the Loft in Decatur. Services for 88-year-old Joyce Eileen Dunlap will be Saturday, July 26th at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with Scott Marsh officiating. The visitation is from 2:30 to 3:30 Saturday at the funeral home. A private family burial will be at Maple Grove Cemetery in Farmer City. News today brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. Get news anytime.